Okay, here we are again. The road to first Horde. Day 6, 7:51 in the AM. So a little over 36 hours to go to first Horde. In that time we need to make sufficient concrete and forge steel to complete the build and then reinforce certain parts. Essentially it doesn't have to be steel, it will stand up with just concrete, but I would prefer steel if we can. And we've got concrete mixing in the mixer, we have cement being made in the forge, we're smelting iron right now, so we'll have 1,000 concrete to work with in a few minutes, and then another 1,000 to come after that. It's been a while since last did a section on this, so just going to quickly nip over here, see what state the build's in, and then whilst the smelting and mixing is continuing we'll probably harvest some resources, mostly stone and iron. Right, so yep, these side walls are just here to give us some peace whilst we're working, but those will be coming down. This obviously is all going to be upgraded to concrete. This concrete will be reinforced, trying to reinforce concrete. We'll then be attaching plates to the front of these and then using some sort of structural integrity black magic, aka making use of one of the oddities of the way 7 days to day work, in order to float more plates out here and then from there build our suspended platform. So yeah, little over 36 hours to go. Best thing we can do right now is harvest some materials. What took everyone by surprise was that 2 days ago they announced they were dropping an update for the console version, which no one was expecting, and that update is going to bring over things that we didn't have before, including drawbridges and extra types of seeds and fertilizing land rather than dirt, and various other things, introducing new block types, etc. To make use of the updated build, you would have to actually start a brand new map. So there should not be a wipe on console. You should be able to continue your existing maps, but that would be at the cost of not having access to the new stuff. If you want to have access to the new stuff, then you'll have to start a new map. This map should be done and dusted pretty soon. The whole purpose was to see what we could achieve by the first Horde, or more to the point, because it would kind of suck if we didn't actually finish this, more to the point it was this is something that was considered to be achievable by first Horde. So when that's done and dusted, the next section of the Let's Play would be, rather than, you know, what can be done by this deadline or whatever, would just be more of a, and now let's just see what we can make, what we can build, how we can improve things, etc. So there might be a deadline to that. You know, it won't be like, oh, what can we do by second Horde or anything like that. So to that end, and with the new update dropping, essentially the console update 10 should be dropping tomorrow, which would be Tuesday the 13th of June. We will start a new map for that, and rather than say this being those dimensions because of materials needed and the time scale, the design will probably be, say, 4 blocks wider, maybe 6 blocks wider. It will definitely be taller and definitely be deeper. I would have just continued on with this one, making it taller and deeper, but maybe not necessarily wider, if that update hadn't been announced. But it has, so that's the change that will be done. So after this series, the Road to First Horde is done, we'll be abandoning this build and restarting after the update, which is going to make my partner in crime very happy, because I tend to make things like this little jump here. It's a 2-block jump. Lots of 7 days people do that, and it's basically because the zombies don't. You know, the zombie will walk up here and they'll go and drop off the end, and they won't enter your space. Whereas yourself wanting to be safe in a defended position, you know, you'll go, right, well, I'll jump over this, leave the zombies behind. My partner in crime, however, is not happy about that at all. Too many missed jumps, sprained ankles, etc. My philosophy is, you know, it's a price worth paying for that level of security, as it were. But even I have to admit, I'd rather use a drawbridge, which is another reason for grabbing the update and restarting with a fresh map. Right, waffling along, and should be gathering a lot more stone and iron, really. Let's see what we've got. We've got a couple of thousand wood, hardly any stone, nowhere near enough iron. And essentially I could be digging the bottom of the pit a layer deeper, or a couple of layers deeper. Hello Zom, how are you? Had your morning coffee? No? It's a shame. Chase me. Oh look, there's a whole slew of them now. Maybe I shouldn't be saying chase me. Oh, come on. And I'm hearing a noise to my side that I'm not happy about. You know, it seems no matter how much I turn down the sensitivity on the controller for this PS4 version, it's still very twitchy. Always wants to overshoot. Check you're dead. Yeah. See another nurse up there, headed this way. So yeah, I could be digging it deeper, but I think we really should focus on completing the top of the pit for now, and then see if we have the time to go deeper after that's done. It's still got room for a bit more stone and iron. Ooh, we have another friend. Take the water. Looks like we're going to need to eat something. I'll go back to the church in a minute, see if that concrete's finished mixing. Hopefully the cement has also finished baking in the old forge, and we can start another batch of cement. Sorry, of concrete. Could still do. Ooh, there's a nice chunk. No, let's take this one. So current build, you'll actually get more iron back from chopping these smaller rocks than you do from the larger ones, or at least per swing. You see there, we've just swung a load, got stone, 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 and then a bit of iron at the end. Let's drink up. If we just needed one more, then we'd have had an empty slot for more stone. Note to self: empty your damn pockets before you venture out. I'm sure there's large boulders like this closer to the church. Let's head back. Although I will take on the small stone for the iron. See, first swing we've already got more iron than we did from the large rock. So I've probably mentioned this before, but just in case I mention it again, if you've not got sand anyway, for example dug it up from the desert, you can turn rock into sand in the concrete mixer. If that's the route you take to get your sand, then making concrete takes 4 stone for every 1 concrete. which I tend to do in batches of 1,000 because that's the size of a stack. Oh, still mixing. Right, so let's just put that there for safekeeping. Take that. About 31 wood would finish off that iron, but we have this to add to it. Let's just make that one big pile, then cut it in half. Right, 270, so that's 135. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does that make 135? Yes, it does. Right, we can continue smelting. No, we can't. We need to actually put the wood up there, and we can continue smelting. Right. So we are going to use that, and helps if I don't leave this behind. We are going to turn 1,000 stone into 1,000 sand to go along with 1,000 cement. So yeah, that's 1,000 stone for the cement, 1,000 stone for the sand if you don't just dig it up out the desert or whatever, and then 2,000 small stone, 4,000 in total for every 1,000 concrete mix. Right, well, let's put some stuff away. Don't really need to be carrying all this. This is me just chucking stuff in because I just chuck stuff in. Let's go dig up some more rocks. So again, hello Zom. Going back to the fact that after this series on the first 7 days is done, we'll be starting again, and it won't be with a deadline, as it were. There won't really be a good reason for showing all the harvesting and everything, not even in sped up style, just to show that it's clearly all legitimately done in the first 7 days. So yeah, most of the harvesting materials will be done off camera in the next series, leaving just the actual build parts or anything else that may come up that's particularly interesting. Incidentally, I've also produced a video on what you can get built by first night. So that's literally from first spawning into the game with 0 skills and 0 equipment, which is what, say 14 hours game time before first night, something like that. What materials you can harvest, what you can build with it in order to give yourself a good, safe, defensible position, and even weapons to defend with, essentially. So yeah, go check that out. I'm sure there's many variations possible. This is just one variation, one concept that I felt was pretty good. Never know, if I come up with an improvement on it, I might make another first night video. In the meantime, go check that one out. Let's pop that up there. Not that we're going to fill all our slots up anytime soon, but by leaving that empty I can tell when I'm about to run out, because obviously I will see items appear in that slot. Let's take a look at the skills. Ooh, we could be putting points in camel, but we've got a good amount of water on us at the moment anyway. Quicker crafting would be advantageous. Don't want to run out of time because we're waiting for a batch to finish, do we? Construction tools is up to, well, we've already unlocked these, so not too worried about that. Not high enough to put in the last bit of miner for 69er yet. Actually still quite a way to go. Another 13. And the game's telling me I'm getting hot. Why am I getting hot? Because I'm wearing a jacket. And I'm not wearing sunglasses. And if the temperature doesn't drop... No, it's still going up. I'm going to have to take off the jeans. I'm not wearing a scarf. Really, I should have made a scarf by now. Alright, temperature's dropping. Oh, and it stopped at 100.53. Hasn't dropped enough. That's not good. Have a drink. Let's make some yucca juice. That'll cool us down a bit. No, it won't. We're not thirsty anymore. Darn. Let's see if we got any cloth hanging around here. We can make a bandana. That's leather. if I scrap the duct tape, scrap the jeans, maybe. That should be food and medicine up there. Could scrap the bandages. Not really the most sensible thing to do though. I've also got that. Hopefully that'll give us cloth. Yeah, 2. Probably needed more than that to make a bandana though. Clothing, bandana. No, only requires 2. Let's get that crafted. Right, that should help to bring our temperature down a bit. Put that in now. Collect that. Right, yes. Let us put that there and that there. And add that because we are going to probably need another batch of 5,000 stone. Wow, somebody loves me. Let's go make use of this concrete. Also, whilst we're here, so this, on the current scale of things, this is what, 7 of these wide on each side. We'll be placing a plate on the front, then a plate opposing it, and a plate on top of that. So that's 3 plates for each block. That's 21 plates per side. That is 84 plates, which will take 840 concrete. We already have less than that remaining. So those plates left to come out of the next batch. Definitely need another batch. So vertically, as long as everything underneath it is a solid block leading all the way down to bedrock, then the strength is infinite essentially. But once we start going horizontal, then structural integrity comes into play. I am so beloved right now. So yeah, so if we put a plate on the front of that, it is supported to the structural integrity of the block that it's hanging off of. And if we put something else hanging off the plate, then that's supported by the integrity of the plate, but they are both supported by the integrity of the block. Now if you attach something else to that, then again, the first one is supported by the strength of the second, which is they'll both be supported by the strength of the third, and then all three will be supported by the strength of the block, and so on and so forth. So eventually you'll get to a point where you are concerned about the structural integrity of the block not being sufficient. That point will come before the plates, because they're all the same material with the same structural integrity. So there's no need to worry about wood going to waste in the forge, burning away when it's run out of stuff to smelt. If you measure your wood, then nothing goes to waste. When you put in terms of building what you want to build, then it will tell you how long it should take to build it. When you put in your wood, it should tell you how long the wood should burn for. When it comes to smelting, it usually works out that one wood will smelt 2 items. If you were using coal, then it would be 1 coal would smelt 4 items. Clearly the wood did not go to waste. So right now we have 248 and 241. We're going to add to that 352. So 126 wood should smelt that and leave some of that left to go. Oh, that's close enough. Hey, it's tempting. It is tempting. Let's take some of that back. And I went and put it in the wrong place. Make that a stack of 1,000. Put the balance back again. That works out quite nicely, because now we can start on our next batch of concrete mix. Right. We have forged steel, so we can go make our axe straight away. And apparently I never favorited the steel pickaxe or the fire axe. I have a couple of them, or even 4 at this rate. And that one will scrap. Do. Yep. There's one. We'll wait for the second one before we head off. Wow. Doors are still here. Not been broken into. Doors are still here, not been broken into. For some reason I seem to remember putting some wooden blocks here in case they did come for the doors. Maybe I didn't. Oh, let's check on the food situation. Nope, that's medicine. Could make some meat stew. I'm presuming that we have potatoes and corn planted outside already. Check there's nothing in here. Nothing in there. Let's just quickly go take a look. Yep, that's corn, that's potatoes. We'll have a bit of that, and a bit of that, and a bit of that, and a bit of that. Boom, boom, put that back. Two more to go. And we're off. In fact, whilst we're doing what we're doing, probably be an idea to let it get on with making the concrete plate. That one. Right, I think we're going to put these plates up now, clear them out of the inventory.